Okay, so I've been playing SimCity now for about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and just sort of getting my feet wet a little bit. It's the kind of game that 30 minutes doesn't really say much about it. But it ended up, I wanted to start where it ended off, or sort of the mid part of it, because we got a natural disaster there, and that's sort of always been sort of part of the SimCity DNA. And sort of, could you just describe a little bit what you want to do with the natural disasters in this title?
Yeah, I'd say that both we have the common ones you see in the real world. You know, you saw a earthquake, tornado. You get the little more rarer ones, the meteor strikes, and then you get a little off the wall like the alien invasions. You know, those are all up there on the current trailers, which are pretty awesome. But we really wanted to give the players the option to throw those down themselves. We know we have players out there who would like to destroy their city occasionally, and you know, it's not for us to judge. We just provide the tools, and I hope you guys have fun.
Is there any, because one of the fascinating things about SimCity is the fact that it's connected.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of repercussions that might, effects on cities that are close by if you sort of bring on an alien invasion or something?
Well, it depends on how you've connected with your neighbors. Now, in the SimCity, you can control one city, you can control multiple cities. You can jump in there with friends and control a lot of cities together. Now, your friend could be providing you police or fire coverage. You know, you throw down a lot of disasters, and they're going to have a lot of police heading over to your city to help out, and have a lot of fires going to put out fires. So it might be taxing on their system. They might have to put up more. Hey, maybe they charge you more.
So there's no direct effects, but there's a lot of indirect effects.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you have a disaster, destroy a bunch of residential homes, maybe those homes are, everyone's going to commute in the next city. The next day that they kick on and have to go to work, you know, they're no longer there. Their houses are burned down. They don't go to work. It sort of drags the economy down. So you can have repercussions out that way.
Just diving into SimCity, it's a very complex game, but you've sort of tried to make it a little bit easier to understand with all these different layers. And could you just describe a little bit briefly what that means, and sort of how you sort of keep players aware where they need to check, what layers they need to check at all times?
Well, so, you know, we're using Glassbox, most events simulation city engine that we've ever built. There's a lot of data going there, and you've seen a lot of these layers. That's our attempt to make all this information a lot more easily digestible. It shows up, you can see what's going on. I think a lot of great ones to pay attention to are, you know, where people want to live, the desirability of the region. If you need a lot of really high-income guys, or high-wealth, highly educated people to work in your skyscrapers, then you're going to have to really pay attention to where they want to live. Check in, make sure it's a high desirability, because if you plop down a house in, right next to your coal plant, chances are it's not going to grow into a mansion, and you're not going to attract an executive. Yeah.
All right. So. What we started was sort of like just the beginnings, but then when you go through that, you get to really shape your city into sort of various different things. Can you give it some examples of like where you can take your city to the different extremes?
Yeah, really. Every time you start a city, it's going to be its new experience. We have a lot of pre-built specialities in there. Things like, you know, you could take the casino city all the way to its, archetype. A big strip of casinos down near the water, lots of tourists coming in, get a little airport for them to fly into. You can build, a heavy industry, coal, mine up that ground, really sell it out, make a lot of money that way. Or, do things like build a computer chip factory, go the tech route. These are all really, the common things that will allow you to play, but it's really up to you what you want to do as well. If you want to try and make a heavy coal industrial city that requires a lot of water and power and do it all in green power, that's a challenge you can actually take on and make that city.
So we were given sort of a clean slate city. What kind of geographical features factor into sort of your city as well?
Yeah, we have, all the common things you see in real life, rolling hills like cliffs, beach fronts, in rivers. When you decide where you want to place your city, it's going to be an important factor. If you're going to make a lot of tourists come in, you want to find a place where it's either near a big airport or you can have enough room to place down an airport. If you want a lot of cargo going in and out, it's good to have shipping lanes. So it's important to do that. It's important to see who you're connected to in the region, because just as important as what's in your cityscape is the cities around you. If you don't want a lot of residents living in your town to make it an industrial city, you really want towns near you where a lot of residents live and can commute in, and they have access like trains to commute in, things to not get stuck up in traffic. Yeah.
So right now you're sort of a few months out from the actual ship date. I think you have a ship date really nailed down now. But what's the main challenge that still remains for the team?
Right now we're just in our high speed and going in, making a lot of content, cleaning up the game, making the best experience. Getting ready to show it off. Polishing out the edges, making it pretty, getting ready for all the positive feedback that's coming in, right?
We've heard some whispers of a beta. Is that something you're planning?
Yeah, I think if you go to the website, you'll see information about that. Definitely look into it. Yeah.
All right, that's a tip. And what is the actual release date of the game?
So it'll be out March 7th and 8th throughout Europe, and then March 5th in North America. And that'll be on the PC and the Mac.
All right, thank you very much for your time.